Day 3 BACE drop here at the static display at the 2018 NBAA BACE. This is a wrap, and it has been a sprint marathon, if that is a thing. Brian, what have you seen? Like, you guys have been here for quite a while before the show was setting up, because you got boots on ground, you're doing the infrastructure, you're laying everything out, and now it's finally done. What's this whole week been like for you guys as staff and as NBAA?
Well, Chris, it's a bit of a whirlwind. You're pretty involved with NBA. You know, we started setting up for 2019 as soon as 2018 ends. So our folks are already started on next year. So to have a year's worth of work come and go in such a whirlwind is just crazy. It's a great feeling of accomplishment, but we don't have a lot of time to sit back and really relish in it.
It's you can tell it's obviously a massive undertaking. We're surrounded by a lot of very impressive machinery here. We're surrounded by the ambient noise, the sweet sound of airplanes taking off as people are rolling up the carpets and taking off. We saw some amazing planes here. Obviously, over at the convention center, there were everything from FBOs and vendors, service suppliers, manufacturers, and here we get to see actually all the hardware. The reason why really everybody came here. We saw Honda Jet HA420 with the performance package. We saw Embraer, the Praetor 500 and 600, new Citations. What were you most excited to see here today, or what were some of the surprises? Maybe were there any surprises?
So it was pretty exciting to see the Mooney sitting behind us. Obviously, I had to go and see the trophy award-winning Vision Jet down the line. And then one of the cool things I was able to take time to see was the new Falcon Eye. That's new technology that's going to help pilots. It's going to help them be safe. And it's really cool technology to be able to see what these cameras can do, what the engineers are doing, what innovators are doing to help pilots get people safely to where they need to be to conduct their business.
Yeah, sure is. Just like the exhibit hall, there's just so many aircraft out here to see and do. Brian, what was the one aircraft that I know we had some of the new aircraft that was unveiled this year, but what was something that really stood out? Maybe because of size, maybe because of setup or display. What was something that really stood out here for you at the display that probably caught the eye of a lot of people?
Yeah, Chris. A couple of things that come to mind off the top of the head be the Piaggio. Obviously, it's set up a little bit different with the canard than some of the other airplanes. And, you know, the bigger aircraft always catch my eye. Something like the Embraer Lineage, and the one they've got here has a really cool carbon fiber looking paint scheme that was really fun to take a look at. See something new, something different.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with the Piaggio too. It definitely stands out. It's a very unique looking aircraft. Obviously the Airbus A319, just the sheer size of it, a commercial aircraft that's been transformed for private use, is just the sheer size of it is fascinating. It's amazing. So that's probably a standout for me.
And then the other thing, the Citation Longitude, the interior of that, from the fully articulated, I call them bumper car chairs, and then the lav actually was the thing. Most people probably wouldn't think that the lav is like a great place you want to be hanging out on an airplane, but those are probably, on those aircraft, the Latitude and Longitude are probably two places I actually would not mind sitting for one. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, Chris, I hope someday that's an issue. I would love to be able to need one of those in the air on a trip on a Latitude or Longitude. I haven't had that experience yet, but someday I can only hope.
Yeah, normally you don't want to spend that much time in a lavatory on a jet, but if you have to be in there, it's a nice place to be. So yeah, they came up with some really cool little functional solutions for fitting everything to where it needed to be, whether it was the bumper car chairs or the way that they organized the flat floor and the way the tables popped up and the way that the couches were. Everything was functional and fashionable at the same time. I was really impressed with what they've come up with.
Another thing that really struck out to me this year is some of the smaller aircraft that came in. You know, we held the inaugural Small Operator Symposium. Was pretty successful. Over 100 small flight departments were represented there. And then to come out here and see some of the smaller aircraft that those guys are operating, the TBMs, the Pipers, the Cirrus, it's pretty fun to put that stuff into practice and be able to see exactly what those guys are going through.
So that's a wrap for the 2018 edition of the BACE Drop. Look forward to seeing you in Vegas next year. Cheers.